One. Is this BS or no BS, BA? Grandpa Phil Rivers can lead the Indianapolis Colts to a Super Bowl.
That's BS, brother.
What?
My boys are fired up, obviously, but I think share the same sentiment. A little nervous, like, Dad, you think you can do it? You know?
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
Here, Indiana move. We from Indiana move. We some Indiana move. I'm an Indiana move.
Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. And he lost the ball. There's a fumble. Who's got it? The officials say the Colts do. Great team win, baby. Lobs it way downfield, intercepted, coming forward and making the INT for the Colts in the back end. To see the Colts win Super Bowl. Hey, win on three. 1, 2, 3, win!
Philip Rivers is going to be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Philip Gervonta Rivers is going to be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. 44-year-old grandfather Philip Rivers is going to be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Hall of Fame semifinalist Philip Rivers is going... God! Welcome back to the channel. This is Marcus Sniffles, and today we're going to be talking about quarterbacks. I have a lot to say about Philip Rivers, but first we're going to talk about Daniel Jones. Obviously, he is lost for the season, torn Achilles in his right leg while also having a fractured fibula in his left leg. I'm going to go ahead and report this now. This is breaking news, sourced by me and sourced by, trust me, bro. Daniel Jones's career in Indianapolis as a Colt is over. It's over. He is not coming back. He will not be signed by this team in the offseason, and I think his career might be in jeopardy. I will say, as someone that was not on board with the Daniel Jones signing or him starting, I do feel bad for him. Like, this is a gut punch for him, if we're being honest, as far as contracts, payday, future, stability, all the things that you would think about as a player in the NFL. And just to give you a kind of an idea of the type of money that him being injured like this cost him, the franchise tag for quarterbacks is $46 million, and that's just for 1 year. I believe that would have been the minimum that he would have received, and that's coming off of his $14 million 1-year prove-it deal. Let's compare his stats from the 2022 season, because while talking Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard, they would always mention the 2022 season when it came to why Daniel Jones was someone that they felt comfortable signing and why he would be the starter over Anthony Richardson. As the starter in 2022, Daniel Jones had a regular season record of 9-6-1, 67 completion percentage, 3,200 yards, 15 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a 92.5 quarterback rating, 63 QBR, 708 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns rushing, and 6 fumbles. He also went 1-1 in the playoffs, 62% completion, 430 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 87 quarterback rating, 23 rushes for 102 yards, and a fumble. A lot of those big stats came against the Vikings on the road. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like it wasn't an impressive win. In the win, he had 300 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 114 quarterback rating, 78 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns. In the loss against Philly, he had 135 yards, 1 interception, got sacked 5 times, a 53 quarterback rating, 6 rushes for 24 yards, and a fumble. Now, after that performance in the regular season and the playoffs, the Giants gave him an extension, 4 years, $160 million, $40 million guaranteed. So let's compare that 2022 season to what he has done in the 2025 season. He was 8-5 as a starter, 68% completion percentage, which is higher than 2022, 3,100 yards, which he was on pace to shatter his career high. He had 19 touchdowns, which was a career high, 8 interceptions, career high, 100 quarterback rating, career high, 64 QBR, another career high. The number that kind of stands out to me is his rushing yards. He only had 164 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. That is way lower than what he had before, compared to 708 rushing yards. But he also had 9 fumbles this year. I had to go back and look at it, but yeah, he fumbled the ball a lot. Now going from 7-1 to finishing 1-4 is jarring. Like, it's hard to look at those numbers and not think, did he get figured out? He obviously was injured. We had injuries to the offensive line. There's a lot of factors that could go into a quarterback, starting 7-1 and then finishing his season at 8-5. In 2022, he got a $160 million contract with $40 million guaranteed. Times are different in 2025, and they will be different in 2026. The franchise tag, like I said, is $46 million. Now, we look at the quarterback salaries going into next year. Where could he have fallen in? Like, I don't think he was going to get the top tier money. Like, Dak Prescott gets $60 million. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, they get about $55 million. And this is for a year, for the year 2026. Tua, Goff, Purdy, Herbert, they're getting about $53 million. Lamar Jackson's getting $52. Jalen Hurts, $51. Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, $46 million. Kirk Cousins, Patrick Mahomes, that was surprising. He only gets $45 million. Matthew Stafford's at $42 million. Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield are at $33 million. Now, that's kind of where I think the Colts would have looked to kind of find some common ground with Daniel Jones, because Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are the most recent reclamation projects at quarterback. So last year, Sam Darnold was in the MVP conversation and had a great year, and the Vikings had a great regular season, and they kind of fell apart in the end. But he was able to get a deal that was guaranteed him $33 million going into next year, and I believe he made about that much this year. So that's probably the area yearly where, Daniel Jones would have fell. He probably would have got, 3 years, probably, I don't know, $150, maybe $130, 30 of that guaranteed, something like that. But either way, that's a tough season. That's a tough way to end your season here. I don't think he's going to be coming back. I don't know how you justify bringing him back. I just think that the Colts, and this is assuming that Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen are back next year, I think they just go and look at the free agent quarterbacks available and they bring AR back. I don't think they trade him in the offseason. The quarterbacks that I would be looking at that are going to be free agents in 2026, Gardner Minshew, who has played in this system, was actually a Pro Bowler for us, Mitchell Trubisky, and Trey Lance. Now, you can look at those names and hear those names and say, okay, those guys aren't good quarterbacks. You might be right. But I said the same thing about Daniel Jones at the beginning of the offseason when we signed him and we turned him into a good quarterback. I believe that we can turn AR into that. But if you gave me my choice, it would be Anthony Richardson. I think I would lean towards bringing Gardner Minshew back since he's more familiar with the system. But for the upside, I would look at Trey Lance also. You made it this far. If you have not liked the video at this point, what are you waiting for? Just like the video. Hit the like button right now. I'm talking to you. Make sure you like the video and subscribe and drop a comment. All that stuff. This is a threat. Not a threat, a warning. But it could be a threat. Just do it. So now let's talk about the, I don't even know how to say it. How was this allowed to happen? Like, I've read a lot of interviews about how the Colts were able to get Phillip Rivers to come back. I've listened to Phillip Rivers talk. I've listened to Shane Steichen talk about it. This should not be allowed to happen. It shouldn't. There are so many people that had to sign off on this that at some point, someone with some common sense should have said, you know what? We're not doing this. The fact that Shane Steichen, after watching Riley Leonard go out there and play okay, but then get hurt, his first thought was, you know what? There are so many bad quarterbacks on practice squads. I'm going to call up the guy that was old before he signed with the Colts in 2020. He was old before then. I'm going to call that guy and see what he's up to. Yeah, he's coaching football. He's helping quarterback prospects prepare for the draft. Philip Rivers and a lot of these quarterbacks are always going to be able to throw a good ball on air. Of course. That's a good idea, right? And Shane Steichen decided, you know what? I'm going to go to my general manager, Chris Ballard. Hey, what do you think about us calling up Philip Rivers? The Philip Rivers that was here in 2020, that retired after he played with us, that had played for almost 20 years and has been retired and is possibly going into the Hall of Fame this year because he's been retired for 5 years. That Philip Rivers? Yeah, that one. At that point, Chris Ballard should have looked Shane Steichen in the eyes and said, you know what? You're fired. You can go home. Thanks for the memories, but you're good. Bye. Go get out of here. But no, Chris Ballard was like, you know what? Not a bad idea. Let's take it up to ownership. And they went up to ownership and said, hey, we're thinking about bringing in Philip Rivers. And the owners are probably like, wait, Philip Rivers from 5 years ago that was washed when we signed him? And the only reason we were able to sign him is because he was washed? That guy? And Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen probably look at them and say, yeah, we're going to bring in Philip Rivers. And at that point, the owners should have been, you know what? You both are fired. You both can go home. This is not going to work. You guys are crazy. Leave your key card. You go get out of my office. You're both fired. But that's not what happened. Ownership was like, you know what? Great idea. Let's do it. So Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen called up Philip Rivers. And they asked Philip, hey, what are you doing? Phil's probably like, oh, nothing. Watching my grandkid. What's up? Hey, Phil, how would you feel about coming to be a starting quarterback and play the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle? And Philip Rivers, for a brief moment, he was probably like, you know what? Maybe I can. Yeah, that competitive spirit, the competitive juices get the flow, and you're like, you know what? I would like to do that. That does seem like a good idea. What he should have said was, both of you guys are crazy, blocked me, and hung up the phone. That's what he should have did. But he said, you know what? Let me ask my 17 kids and run it by my wife and see what they say. And you know what all 18 of those people said? Yeah, go do that. There were so many opportunities for people with a clear head, sound mind, and open heart to say, you know what, Phil, this is a terrible idea. Why are you doing this? Because you love the game so much? That's it? I get it. I get it. You want to go out there and see if you can prove it. I get the whole competitive thing. As an organization, though, you need to protect players from themselves. And you guys decided to call him up and bring him in. And he's probably going to start. He's probably going to start on the road in the NFL game against the best defense in the NFL. There was a time when I first started doing this channel that I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I kind of got to find a way to stand out, try to dig deeper into the numbers, try to find a different angle to look at things. But then when you see ownership, general managers, the front office, and the coaching staff go out there and make moves like that, you kind of realize, we're just out here bullshitting, right? It don't matter. I can just, I can get out here and do whatever, just talk a little shit, shoot from the hip. Who cares? Like, they're bringing in Philip Rivers, all right? Like, that's what we're doing. Imagine if I said all this stuff. Imagine if I said, hey, you know what? The Colts, they're bringing in Ben Roethlisberger. How would you feel about that? Hey, they're bringing in Matt Ryan, who played football more recently than Philip Rivers. How would you feel about that? Because I wouldn't feel good at all. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're bringing in this old man, and I don't know how Roger Goodell has not stepped in on this. How has he not stepped in? How is he allowing this to happen? How is this not elderly abuse? This isn't elderly abuse? You're a semi-finalist for the Hall of Fame, and you're gonna come back and play? Honestly, This is what it's come to. And we will talk about this once this season mercifully comes to an end. The Colts season is over. Phillip Rivers is not going to go on a miraculous, 4-0, 3-1 finish for us to sneak into the playoffs and make some noise. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You can believe it all you want. Would you believe it if I told you Matt Ryan was doing it? No, you wouldn't. So why would you believe it with Phillip Rivers? It's not going to happen. It's over. And when the season is finally over and this embarrassment of a season comes to an end, people are going to want Chris Ballard fired. People are going to want Shane Steichen fired. I say no. I will go into more depth about it in the offseason, but I will say that my main reasoning for keeping those two, I do not want to hire a GM that has to come in and try to clean up a mess without any first-round picks. You give Ballard and Steichen the next 2 seasons to clean up this mess, and if they can't, they got to go. But you cannot, you're not going to be able to get the best candidates with this job opening because we don't have any first-round picks for the next 2 years. So I say bring him back. That's the short end of it. I'm just here for the ride now. Like this is gonna be amazing. Like there was a part of me that was like, do I even want to watch the game? I can just check the stats. I can make it up as I go. I can kind of get an idea of how this game is gonna go. But if they're gonna roll 44-year-old Phillip Rivers out there, fuck it, we ball, man. We're just gonna go out there and let it rip. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think about Phillip Rivers. Maybe I'm the one that's over exaggerating. Maybe I'm the one that's doubting. Maybe I don't believe in a quarterback that is older than 13 head coaches currently in the NFL. He has a child that is older than Riley Leonard. But yeah, hey, maybe I'm the one who doesn't believe. Maybe I'm the one that needs to believe. And maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe Phillip Rivers goes out there and he lights the Seattle Seahawks on fire. Maybe he does that. I doubt it. Let me know in the comments. Appreciate it. And I will see you guys and gals and they, thems and its and whatever Monday, 7 in the morning on YouTube. Go Colts.
Thanks for watching, babe. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.